Hi, I'm doing a tarot tag called 21 Tarot Questions, and I was in the Sunday Shenanigans live on Lisa Papez's channel, and everybody was coming up with some questions that we were writing in the chat, and then Peggy started keeping track of everything, and then Lisa decided to make it a tag. So I'm here to do the tag today. One of the challenges was that you didn't think about the question. You heard the question, you picked a deck, and you moved on. So that's what I did. So, and my answers might have changed if I had sat and thought about it a while. But I'm going with the theme, and I'm just picking the deck the first deck I thought of. So first question is, what is the deck they'll have to pry out of your dead cold hands? And for me, that is my vintage Rosetta. I absolutely love the Rosetta Tarot anyway. And this deck is laminated so I could take it to the beach, to the bar, anything, and the deck is going to survive. I could be on a desert island and have only one deck, and if it was this deck, I would survive it. I wouldn't like being on a desert island with no decks, except one, but this deck just has so much meaning and history, and I really love having this laminated, black bordered version of it, and so this is a very special deck to me. Also, just absolutely love MM Meleen's artwork. I think it is crazy stunning. And the system I grew up using was the Thoth. And so this is a Thoth deck. So it's easier for me to read. I think sometimes, for me, I just fall back on the thing that's easy. And the RWS presents more challenges for me, just because I'm naturally geared to look at the tarot through this lens. I have used the Marseille style quite a bit, but I came to the RWS pretty late, so the Thoth is a more comfortable system for me, and this is a beautiful rendition of a Thoth style deck, and I love this laminated cardstock. It's great. And so this would be the deck I would have in my hands as I died, and you'd have to pry it out of my hands. And that is first edition vintage Rosetta. Next question was, what is your guilty pleasure deck? And for me, that is my Trash Panda. I didn't know about this deck, and then I was watching Lisa Papez showing decks that she didn't need, and I saw this on there, and I thought, oh my gosh, I just need that deck. And I love this deck. Every time I use it, it just makes me giggle and laugh. I think it's so funny. It's raccoons, but, you know, trash pandas. I think it was such a clever idea. And it is just so fun and so cute and so funny. It's such a great deck. And it is RWS, but for some reason with this deck, it's easy for me. I don't even know what to say. It is definitely my guilty pleasure. And I don't have a lot of guilty pleasure decks. But this is definitely it. And I'm so glad Lisa decided, oh, it's not for her, and showed it, because from that moment on, I knew it was for me. So it was a Kickstarter, and I backed it on Kickstarter. And it's available now. What a fun deck. It is absolutely fantastic. And a total guilty pleasure deck. I don't know. It's about as good as it gets in that realm of making you giggle. Okay, that is my trash panda that I absolutely love. What's the deck you wish existed? So what I wish existed was a large size, you know, like a 4x6 version of the Barbara Walker Tarot. I love this deck, and I do have a bigger version, but I would love to have a nice, really clear 4x6 version of this deck that's full bleed, maybe that has the, or at least that the sides are full bleed. And I think everybody would love to have that. This deck was a deck, I think I got it the day it came out. We got an advance copy when I was working at a little metaphysical shop, and that copy is a little different and a little bigger. And the art is a little bit different. But I love this deck. It has been like a deck I've gone to for everything I've read for others with it. It reads for others great. It reads for me great. It always helps me see things in a new light. It tells me the truth. It's harsh, but it's kind of designed to be that. And it's just, the art is so gorgeous. And I've seen the 8x10 paintings. I know they're there. We could have a big version of this that is kind of at least full bleed on the sides. I would love that. That's the deck that I wish existed. And hopefully, maybe that will happen at some point. I'm not sure. I really love the interpretation of this deck. Anyway, a favorite of mine for many, many, many years. But could use a great version of it. Okay, next deck. Next question, I mean. What deck would you give to a new reader? Okay. I give decks to new readers all the time, and for people that are brand new to tarot, never used tarot before, and that often ends up being people that work with me, people that are friends of my kids, partners of my kids, just kind of the group around us. I always give them a light Seers Tarot. And so far, everybody that got a Light Seers Tarot loved it and has kept reading. And I love, like, that magician, the way, the movement of that card and seeing things that way. The Three of Cups, just the twilight and being in a field of lavender. It looks like maybe out by the beach. It reminds me of growing up on the ocean. The Tower with the squirrel and how it affects just life. The Devil's a little weird. The Fool just kind of falling, letting herself on purpose fall backward into this abyss. I just think it is such a beautiful deck. The Hangman, just seeing things from a different perspective. The Death card, Rebirth, but also just like looking in the way that this card portrays it. I just think this is such an incredible deck. I love this Three of Wands. And, you know, I grew up in Hawaii, so surfing has a lot of meaning for me. And this is just fun, and I really, really like it. So the colors in this deck are colors that I totally love. The portrayal of a lot of these cards, just, it was unique. When I got it, it was just a unique interpretation. I had never seen anything like it. And everybody I love this Hermit card. Everybody I give this deck to loves it. And it's, you know, mostly younger people that I'm introducing to tarot. And so there's diversity in the deck, but there's not a lot of age diversity. But when I'm giving the deck to young people, I don't think they're that concerned with that. Anyway, I know you've all seen this a million times. It is a deck that I think is pretty incredible. I love it still, even to this day. And I think it's really special. And I think it's a really, really great deck to give people that are brand new to tarot. Okay, next question. What deck do you want to get along with, but it just never clicked? So for me, that is Children of Litha. And it's not because it's not a gorgeous deck. It's a beautiful deck. It feels really nice, although it does make it a little hard to shuffle. It's got that rose petal-y finish. But I don't know if it's that I haven't taken the time. I don't know why. I think it's gorgeous. I just haven't clicked with it yet. I think maybe I need to put more time into it and just use it by itself. I think it's still available. It is just stunning, and I like the representation of things. It's got a lot of animals. I like animals. It's got under the sea vibe and some of the cards. I love the octopus. It's certainly not because this whole deck isn't just wonderful and lovely, because it is. Again, sometimes I get too many things in. If I get more than one or two in at a time, I have trouble connecting. And this was a time when I got in several decks, and I just didn't put the time into it. And I think that I just need to do that. But so far, it is a deck that I haven't really just clicked with. So that is the Children of Litha Tarot. This is the black edition. Gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Love it. Just haven't connected with it yet. Okay, next question. What deck do you only keep around for the art? Okay, for sure, this is my R Black. This art in this deck is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. And I often go to this deck and look at a card when I want to see something differently. And I'll use it when I'm putting some cards out to do a reading. But as an art deck, I don't use it to read much. I do once in a while, but mostly I use it as an art deck. Partially because the cardstock, although it feels lovely, does not feel sturdy to me. And it's not, I like it, but it's more like an art paper. And so I am perfectly happy keeping this deck just for the art because I love the art. But I'm probably not going to read with it a lot because honestly, if I damaged one of these cards, I would be so, so sad. And I love just looking at it. And I love pulling it out and just looking at the art in this deck. I just think it's gorgeous. And it's special. And I don't know if I could get it again. And so I'd rather just keep it as an art deck and not read with it all the time. And that is the R Black Tarot. What deck did you buy because everyone else was buying it? Okay, for me, for sure, this is the old Serpentfire. I can't remember which edition this is. It's the deck. I think it's the version before the new version. I have the new, it's the 2016 version. So everybody had this deck. And I was seeing it around. And I just had to have it. I like the borders on this. It reminds me a little bit of Hawaiian, some of the patterns from Hawaii, where I grew up, and I just think it's beautiful. I do have the newer version. I use the newer version now. But this was a deck that I saw other people have, and I just wanted it so much. And honestly, I'm so glad that I bought it because I saw it on other people's channel. Still love it to this day. Love the new version, but this was the version that I got just because other people had it. Okay. That is the Serpentfire. Next question. What deck is over your head or just baffles you? And I would say this is a deck that baffles me. Tarot of the Holy Light. It's gorgeous. It's got an amazing book that's huge. I haven't put the time in, and so I'm baffled by it. And these decans are the Hindu decans, and so I haven't used the Hindu decans. I think that's correct. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm pretty sure. And so there's a lot to this deck, and I can't just pull it out and use it. And I read the book a long time ago, but honestly, I've forgotten a lot, and I didn't use the deck at the time. And right now, it puzzles me, and I just need to take this deck, sit down with the book, and just use only this deck and really get to know it, because I think it's incredible. I recently, within maybe the last couple of years, got the bigger cardstock, and so I think that'll help me, because I had the smaller deck before, but this is the large version, and it's easier to see everything in here, so I just need to put in some time. And that is the Tarot of the Holy Light, a deck that baffles me. Okay, next question. What deck surprised you? And for me, that is the Fantastical Tarot. When I got this deck, it was another deck I got right when it came out. And I'd had the Thoth for a long time. And I wanted something else. And I saw this and I thought, oh wow, it looks really cool. My box is pretty trashed. I'll show you my box sometime, but I don't have it out right now. It's pretty bad shape. That's the front of it though. And I saw this deck in the store, and I was like, oh, I'm going to try it. And I thought, well, it'll be something I can read with. But it surprised me how much I fell in love with this deck. I was somewhat obsessed with it at the time, and I was much younger. I would read for other people at different fairs and things, and I would always want to use this deck, and everybody would be like, no, can we pick a different deck? And I'd be like, but why? It's so cool. So anyway, like, Justice is exhausted here. And I just love the depictions. It is weird, no doubt. But there's some cards, I just couldn't believe how beautiful they were. Like, honestly, that Temperance, I just love that Temperance. I just think it's gorgeous, beautiful. I loved this Queen of Pentacles. I liked the pages. One of my favorite lovers cards. Still to this day, I love, and I don't know if it's because I was so obsessed with it when I was younger, but honestly, like, I love the way the passion here and the flowers in her hair and his cool hair and just that feeling of that kind of love and passion. And it's a choice to be in love like that. And I understand the lovers has kind of a different meaning usually, but I liked this depiction. It was the first time I'd seen a depiction like that. And I just thought, wow, that's so cool. And I still to this day like it. This Four of Swords, I thought was just traditional, yet at the same time, just cool and unique. I liked that there was not just somebody piercing a heart there and the swords are in the air. Oh, I love this High Priestess and the Moon card. Some of my very, very favorites. Just absolutely love the art there. I like the way that the figures or creatures or I don't know what they are, but beings, they look timeless and ageless. Like they've been there forever. And I love the way that these two cards kind of connect. Anyway, just the Ace of Pentacles with the dragon. And how pretty is that? I thought the Fool was super cool. The Three of Cups, how sweet and just what a feeling. I liked the Kings in this. The Devil, not my favorite. The Sun card. Oh, so gorgeous. It's always just hard for me to like other Sun cards after seeing that Sun card because I just love that card. And, you know, it's odd. It's weird. What an Ace of Cups. Oh, little dragon butterflies. And little dragons on the side. And this Knight of Swords looks so powerful. And just, I love the starlight theme of this deck. And it was kind of my first deck that had a lot of that nighttime feel. I still love it. And you know that I did get sick of it. Look at this Four of Wands. It's got the structure, but it's got such a magical, beautiful unicorn and that night sky. And there was a time where I had used it so much that I stopped using it. And then a few years ago, I got it out to show somebody, oh, this is a deck that I outgrew that I used to love. And then you know what? I got back into it again and I still love it now. Look at the world. It's so pretty. And I think this deck is out of print. But I think part of it is I got so attached to it when I was younger that it just has this nostalgia feeling to me. But I love the depictions. I love this Empress. Love this Ten of Cups. So anyway, sorry to go on and on about this one, but this is a deck that is very special to me, that I've had for years and years. Oh, and I love the Strength card. Oh, so great. And I still love it to this day. Even though I had to take a break from it, I'm back to where I love it again. So, it surprised me at the time. It was a surprising deck. That's the first one I thought of. Okay, next question. What deck doesn't really work for you, but you keep it because it's a collectible? Okay, for me, that is my Baba Studios Fairytale deck. And part of it is I haven't put time into seeing how these connect. And it's RWS based. And it's RWS based plus it's fairy tales. So it is more challenging for me. And I love it. Think it's gorgeous. Love Baba Studios. This cardstock shuffles so easily and so great. But it is a deck that I keep partially because it is a collectible and I know I won't be able to get this version again. I actually think maybe I would have liked the second version better. But this is the version I have. So I keep it around. I love it. I think next month Dawn Michelle's group is doing a fairy tale theme and I'm going to use it and try and connect with it then. But it is my collectible deck that I love, that I probably won't be able to find again. And maybe they'll reprint this at some time and I'll get a new one. But this comes in a tech box, and I don't love the tech boxes. I love their newer boxes. Well, the version before the wooden boxes, I love. So if I had one of those, I think it might help. But anyway, I'm going to use it next month. And we will see how that goes. So maybe it'll work for me then. I'm hoping so. A collectible. Fairytale. Baba Studios. Okay, what's the next question? What deck is your favorite gilded deck? Okay, this is super easy for me. This is my Thoth Journey. And this is the best gilding I've ever seen in my life. I love it. It's like silky soft and it's gorgeous. Like it's a copper. I love the color of it. And it just is perfect when you shuffle. This deck shuffles like a dream. Oh my goodness. It's just the greatest. And the gilding is the best gilding ever. Love it, love it, love it. I love this deck. It came out during the pandemic and it had really helped me through the pandemic. It is a Thoth deck and it's an oracle, but it does follow the structure of the Thoth Tarot. So you can use it as a tarot or you can use it as an oracle. And the deck is all about color. And to me, the paintings and the way everything is portrayed and the depth of the color and oh my goodness, I love this deck. It is available on Kickstarter right now. I can't imagine, like I backed it because even though I have this one, I love it so, so, so much. And it's just magical. And the cardstock is heaven. The gilding is the best gilding ever. This is definitely my favorite gilding of all time. And I don't know what kind of gilding or if the new version has gilding, but even if it doesn't, just this deck is definitely, I can't imagine not ever wanting this deck. Just so pretty. So meaningful. So much a cushion and just a light during the pandemic for me. And it will remain that way. It's just one of those decks I'm going to love for the rest of my life. Okay, that is the Thoth Journey, Oracle of Change. Let me see if I have the book out. I can show you the book. Yeah. Maybe I put it away. Where is it? Oh, no. Okay, don't have it right now. Maybe I'll do a walkthrough of that or something sometime. Which deck do you love but hate the cardstock? Okay, this is also super easy for me. That is the Graven Images Oracle. And absolutely love the deck. But I think it was around Christmas time last year, and I had something in my bag that was sealed, but it was warm, but I think there was maybe some moisture. And I already didn't like the cardstock on this. And then just from a teeny bit of moisture getting on it, my deck got stuck together and I couldn't peel it apart because the cardstock is kind of almost like, it's almost like a weird cardboardy feel, and it doesn't feel very high quality. It's not very nice. It gets damaged really easily. But here's the thing. I love the deck. I would never not want to have this deck. I think it's a really, really reasonable price. Like, I don't know, maybe it was in the $30 range. And it's got a lot of cards. And so I damaged it. I was all frustrated and trying to fix it. And then, you know what, I thought, I'll just get another deck. Okay? So then I just bought a new one. And the problem solved. But honestly, I didn't think I would like cardstock less than the textured tarot. But this one has given that deck a run for its money. And yet, there's no way I wouldn't want to have this deck, because I think it's fabulous. Love it. So I just got a new one, but the new one's the same cardstock. Don't love it. Not my favorite, but boy, the deck is. So that's what happened. Okay. What deck gives you the willies? So honestly, I don't have any decks that give me the willies. There was a deck that I saw on Don Michelle's channel that every card I was just falling in love with, and I was about to buy the deck, and then she showed one card and it gave me the willies, and I don't even remember what the name of the deck is. If I remember, I'll put it down below, but it just, I couldn't buy the deck. It just gave me the willies, gave me the creeps, and I thought, nope, not going to buy that deck. Next question. What's your favorite deck for shadow work? And for me, that is my Somnia Tarot. And this actually was a deck that gave me the willies when I first saw it. And I was like, no way. I never want that deck. It's not for me. It gives me the creeps. And then I saw Don Michelle using it one day. And I'd seen it a bunch. I'd seen a bunch of people using it. It was really clear I didn't want it. And it just gave me the creeps. And then I saw Don use it a certain way, and something about it, I just, oh, I could use that for shadow work. And I bought it, and it is so great for shadow work. It's my shadow work deck. It helps me see things from a different perspective. And the things that I thought were creepy, like the sheets, just now give me a new perspective. And it doesn't give me the creeps anymore. I actually think it's beautiful. And I much, much prefer the photographic version of the deck, because they have a painted version too. But I love photography decks. I have a bunch of them. And I think this is a brilliant deck. It's designed for shadow work. And some of the cards are just so stunning. You can just see, wow, this must have taken a ton of work. But wow, what a magical deck. And so fabulous for looking at your shadow. So that is my Somnia Tarot. Oh, it's so pretty. Sometimes I don't even want to stop looking at it. Okay. Next question. What deck do you love in theory but not in practice? Oh, where did I put my box? There it is. So for me, that is Tarot of Jane Austen. And I think because I haven't taken the time with it that I should, that I need to. Who wouldn't want a deck about Jane Austen, right? So I think the answer is take a month and spend it with this deck. But I love the art in this deck. And in theory, it's an amazing deck. But there's something about it when I've used it that hasn't allowed me to connect the way I want. And I'm not sure why. And I thought, oh, I have to have that deck. It's going to be so great. And, oops, sorry. It, still enjoy looking at it, but I haven't connected using it very well. So in theory, it was the deck I thought I wanted. In reality, may not be the deck for me. We'll see. I'm gonna put in some time before I give it away, but yeah, I should just put in the time. Okay, well, anyway, that is my deck. First one I thought of that I haven't liked in practice. Okay, next question. What deck would you never use to read for somebody else? So for me, that is my Tarot Balby. This was my mom's deck. It was my very first deck ever. And it is my deck. And I just would never use it because I would never want something to happen to it. It's also a pip deck. So I think pip decks are hard for other people when you read with pip decks. I mean, you can explain it, but they don't understand it as much, and they're more confused by it. I love it. I think it's fabulous, but it has a lot of meaning for me because it was my mom's and because it was my very first deck, and it's just something that I use for myself, and I'll never read for somebody else with this deck. It would just be weird to me. It is really pretty colors, and it's just unique. I think it's out of print now, but really, really cool. And my mom's not alive anymore, so it has extra meaning because of that. So it's for me only. And I have a backup, I think, of this somewhere, because I would never want to be without this deck, just because it has so much meaning. And it's a different structure than a typical Marseille. And so that actually makes it extra confusing for people because it doesn't follow the traditional systems. So that is the Tarot Balbi. It is a Spanish deck. And it is a vintage deck. Okay. What deck would you never use for yourself? I would never use the RWS Classic because at this point, I just think I would never use it. I have it. I could read for others with it. I would never use it for myself. What deck could you not bring yourself to buy? So, I have Benabelle's newest deck. Where is it? And I have the first edition. But I have not been able... Well, if I bought it at the time, I would have been able to do it. But I didn't... this is the newest version. And this is the one that's on pre-order right now. I didn't buy the Vitruvian, and I just now, at this point, can't bring myself to buy it because of the cost. It's going for outrageous prices, and I want it, and I feel like, oh, I need that deck, and I love it, but honestly, I just can't pay that for it, and so I just don't have it, and I love this version. I think this version, it is just crazy soft and easier to use and a surprise. And I've been studying it since the beginning of the year, just spending time with it every morning. And it's magical. But I also know the Vitruvian is magical. And I want it really bad. Maybe sometime I'll find it for a price I can afford. So pretty. But right now, haven't been able to bring myself to pay the price that people are asking for it. And I get it. There were only 2,000 of those made. It's probably worth that, but it's just out of what I can pay for a deck. So, I have not been able to bring myself to buy it. And not sure that I will get there. Probably won't. So, anyway, maybe somehow somebody will trade me something sometime. Okay. That is Spirit Keeper's Tarot. Next question. What's your favorite pip deck? Okay. That is, I think, or my first reaction was Mythical Creatures Tarot. These are the boxes that Papez Studios does that I love. They're my favorite. I just think they just are the perfect box. It's my very favorite box of all time. So this deck has the most beautiful pips I've ever seen. It's just gorgeous. It's magical. I love this deck. I don't know if you could pick a more beautiful pip deck. And I love pip decks. I absolutely think they're fabulous. And love reading with them. So it's saying something when it's my favorite. And there's a lot of them I love, but boy, the beauty in this deck. So gorgeous. Just stunning. I don't have the black and white version of this. Wish I had that too. But I definitely want the color one. This is the Mythical Creatures Tarot. Most beautiful pips of all time. And of course, that's just my opinion. Everybody has their own perfect pip deck. So, boy, do I love these. And that is a Baba Studios deck. And a Baba Studios bag for it. Okay, next question. What deck slaps you with the truth? Okay, for me, that is my Black Lily. Totally slaps me with the truth. Huge nudity warning. This deck has a ton of nudity. And I think I have all of Aya Rosen's decks. This one slaps me with the truth. It's such a great deck. And it is a unique perspective. And I love her art. Her art, to me, is fabulous. And it is a little bit of a harsh truth teller, a little bit like the Barbara Walker. And I use this deck when I just want to see straight how things are. And if I'm hiding something from myself, this deck will bring it out. Because sometimes when you read for yourself, I think you tend to be a little softer than you should. Most of the time, no, I'm not. But if I feel like I'm doing that, I'll just go to this deck. And then I really listen. Oh, so pretty. It's a great reader. And so I use it mostly for when I'm really trying to get to the bottom of something. And it's really great for that. And that is the Black Lily Tarot. And it is from Game Crafter. Okay. Next deck. What's the deck that got away? Okay, so I have a deck. The Tarot de Shah. And there was the Tarot de Shen that I didn't get, that I would love to have. And I love cats. This is such a fun deck. And this one is the cat deck. And then there's also a dog deck. And the dog one got away from me. And I love this deck. I just think it's so sweet. And I would love to have the dog version, but it's out of print. And, of course, they want a ton of money for it if you ever find them. So, I am just happy I have the cat. It's also got really fun pics because the kitties are just doing things. And I don't read with this very much anymore, but I just enjoy when I do read with it. It's really fun. It's really sweet. It's a comfort deck. And I would love to have the doggy one. I love that. Always the Three of Swords. So that is the deck that got away from me. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.